This tool could change everything in multicolor printing. Apply full color, real photographs to your 3D models and print the results using only 5 filaments. It's available to use for free right now, so let's take a look. I recently built a free tool called Primed 3D that lets you paint any model in any colors and automatically converts those colors into dithered color lines, allowing for full spectrum prints with any colors using only 3 filaments. Bambu Labs has since rolled out their color blending feature into Bambu Studio, and that is great. But Primed 3D still offers you far more control, allowing you to add custom gradients to any part of a model in any colors in any orientation, and it works with any popular slicer. But now I am super excited to share with you the latest feature, photo projection. This allows you to apply any image or photo to any part of any 3D model, which it will then convert into colored dither lines, allowing you to print the results using only 3 to 5 filaments. We'll take a closer look at those results in a minute, but first let's see this thing in action so we can better understand what it can do. To start off, load your 3D model. If your model needs resizing, use the scale tool to do that now, as you'll need to do that before you process it. I'm going for an oversized benchy. You can then manually paint it with the brush and sphere tools, but I really love the effects that you can get with gradients. To start with, let's apply a simple gradient to the entire model, a nice deep 2 cool blue. Then I'll select just one side of the hull, and maybe the porthole on the opposite side, and apply a different, more fiery gradient to that, going from front to back. Now comes the fun bit, photo projection. Selecting the photo tool, you then can choose the image you would like to add to your object. This is a PNG of Pikachu with a transparent background. You can then position, scale, and rotate it however you want. You can either have the image applied to the entire model, or using brush and fill tools, you can select which surfaces of the model you want it to be applied to. With your desired surfaces selected, position the image so that it's over the area of the model that you want to apply it to from the current perspective of the camera. Then just hit apply. And there, we've got Pikachu applied to the side of our benchy on top of our gradient. But that Pikachu image is basically just block bold colours, and with a bit of practice you could just manually paint him on. What if you wanted to use a real photo? Well, let's pop one on the other side. Here's a photo of me. This is one of the last photos of me before my accident whilst filming up in the Italian Alps. This works best with high contrast photos. So I've made a higher contrast version of this one, and we'll select that. Now let's get that lined up where we want it, and we'll hit apply. And there we go, we have Benchy McBenchface. Now, when you process in Primed 3D, you can choose which filaments you'll be printing with. As standard, it uses cyan, magenta, and yellow, or CMY, but you can also choose whether to include white, black, or both. In general, Primed 3D works great using just CMY, but when working with the photo tool, you really want all 5 colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and white. We can now download our processed 3MF and import it into our slicer. Exports are currently compatible with Bambu Studio, Snapmaker Orca, and Prusa Slicer. When you've imported your 3MF, make sure you assign each of the 5 colors to the right filaments. When you do this, you might notice a slight change in colors or brightness on the model preview, something I'll talk about a bit more in a minute. And this is how our dithered color lines have come out. Again, this entire thing will print using only 5 colors. I mentioned a minute ago that it's best to include white and black filaments when using the Photo Project tool. This is how the same model looks if processed in the other color combinations, and you can see that including both white and black filament makes a huge difference here. The main thing before slicing is to make sure that you're printing with a layer height of 0.08mm. With it sliced, this is how it comes out. Now let's see how it prints. Whilst due to the purge waste, this is only really recommended for printers which feature toolhead or nozzle changers, Technically, this is compatible with any FDM 3D printer, though be warned, these prints are not quick. And this is how it's come out. We've got our two gradients, our Pikachu, and an actual photo all printed into our benchy with just cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and white filaments. Pikachu is obviously recognizable, but he has these black lines running through him. I've talked about this in previous videos. This is due to how the dithering algorithm tries to darken down colors, and I am working on a complete shift in how this is done, so keep an eye out. But of course, the real showstopper here is applying an actual photo to our 3D print. When compared to the original, you can see how accurately it's being reproduced, even with the variance in skin tones. Now, it is a lot darker than I'd expected, partly because of the shadow on my face, partly for a reason that I'll mention in a minute, but partly because it's trying to recreate a high level of detail in the image. For now, I would suggest brightening up your images before you apply them, but I'm planning on adding a feature to simplify photos before applying them for cleaner prints when using it on smaller items. If we look up close, the print can look quite messy, but this is expected as dither color lines work best from a distance. So if we take a step back, you can see the images really start to pop. As a functional proof of concept, I'm really happy how this has come out, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. You may have noticed that the colors and brightness aren't quite as they were when we were making this in Prime 3D. I pointed out briefly when we were importing this into Bamboo Studio that when I assigned the specific filament that I was using, the colors changed. This was the exposure and color before I assigned the exact filament I was using, and this is how they looked after I'd assigned that filament. Since printing this benchy, I've added a new feature to Prime 3D, which allows you to assign a hex code for each of the filaments that you're going to be using to make the color processing significantly more accurate. It's important to note that at this stage, it relies on geometry when applying the photos and doesn't currently work if applied to a completely flat surface, such as the side of a perfect cube. I am working on a fix for this, so keep an eye out for that. However, I've also added an additional color mode, Solid Color. This allows you to export the painted model without adding color dither. You can either use this to export a project from Prime 3D to re-import later, or you can export a painted model to then 3D print in the conventional way with block colors. With this mode selected, you can then choose how many different colors you want to print with, and then when exported, the colors of the model will be simplified down to that number. This means that even if you don't want to do color blend printing, you can use Prime 3D to apply images to your models and print them with whatever filaments you've got available. So that's the new photo projection tool, but as I said, Prime 3D has a range of features allowing you to import any STL or pre-painted 3MF, manually paint it with brush, sphere and fill tools, apply gradients either to the entire model or just part of it, and print the entire thing in as few as 3 filaments. Prime 3D now features a light mode if that's your preferred flavor, and you can access all previous public releases by hitting the version number at the bottom, then selecting the version you would like to use. This is a free, open source tool that I developed and released for the 3D printing community, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. I really hope that you find this video and Prime 3D interesting and useful, and if you do, please do pop me a like and hype. It's always majorly appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the future updates, as well as 3D printing tutorials and deep dives, and Maker Tech explorations, including something I've got coming up very soon on humanoid robotics. Prime 3D is available to use right now completely free at prime3d.3drevolution.net, linked in the description. To get early access to my videos, some exclusive member content, early access to some Prime 3D features and more, you can support me by becoming a channel member hitting join below any of my videos. If you can think of any cool ways that Prime 3D could be used, or you can recommend some new features or improvements for it, let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks very much everyone, and until next time, happy printing. A massive thank you to my channel members, my revolutionaries, for your support. I can't thank you all enough. If you're thinking of getting a new printer to better set yourself up for color blending, you might want to check out my Honest H2C review video. Otherwise, why not check on one of my other videos to learn something new or just have some fun. Thanks very much everyone, and until next time, happy printing.